Hi everyone, welcome to what is a new series for this channel, and that is I Test Your Tactics. The basis of this series of videos is going to be basically you want someone to test your tactic, send it to me, I will do it. Link to my Twitter is down below, you can DM me there. The link to Jake Cooper's Discord, where you'll also find me, TJ90, that's my name, just look up here at the top, you will see it. You'll find me there, send me it, I will test it for you. You know, if you've basically come up with a tactic from scratch and you've had really good success with it and you want to see how it does translated across to a wider sample size, or if you've taken a preset tactic and tweaked it, and again, it's worked really well for you and you want to see, is this something that I can repeat across the board before you go and try it on like a new save, send it to me, I'll run it, I'll do it for you. So we're kicking things off today with a video from someone from Jake Cooper's server, that is Mixon. He has sent me this tactic. He had really good success with it. It was originally a preset gegenpress tactic, and he has tweaked it. And it's almost now considered by the media in-game to be like a vertical tiki-taka style. It's a 5-3-2. It looks really, really exciting. Looks like it's very gung-ho on the attacking, which I like. So yeah, let's have a look at it. Let's see what teams we're doing, and let's see what happens. Here we are with the first team that we're going to try this tactic with. And this was a team that Mixon requested that we run this tactic with, because it was the team that he supports, and he was quite happy for me to pick any other teams, but he just said, can you please use Real Madrid? So let's face it, if anyone is going to make an attacking tactic work, it is Real Madrid. On paper, it might look, you know, a sort of fairly standard 3-5-2, and you might think, you know, where's the number 10 or whatever? But when you look at the player roles and you see you've got a complete wing back on each side on attack, 2 attacking Mazzalas, 2 wide centre backs, admittedly on support rather than full on attack, you know that you're going to be getting a lot of numbers forward. Its potential is to leave you exposed, but who knows what will happen. So what we've done with, as you can see with the team here for Madrid, is the team that I would naturally pick. The only question mark I had was potentially leaving Modric in that Mezzala over Asensio, just purely for the physicality side of things. Obviously, Asensio is a little bit younger. He's got a little bit more pace and speed about him. But Modric's attributes when it comes to crossing, passing, work rate, etc., I think justify keeping him in that team. And Isco on the other side. But to be fair, we might well actually swap Isco for Asensio, because I think that might actually be a good option, because Asensio is naturally left-footed, so hopefully that'll benefit him playing on that Mezzala role out on the left-hand side. We've picked, I would say, a mixed standard of teams from a variety of leagues. We've also picked Betis. We picked Malaga, who are in the second division in Spain, see if we can help get them back up into the top flight after they had that mini financial crisis where they basically, you may remember, they got bought out by big investors. They were going to become the next biggest thing in Spain. They were in like Champions League quarterfinals and stuff. And then next thing, it basically all fell apart, and they lost all their money and they got relegated. We've also gone with Rangers, see if they can retain that SPL title, but also to see how they do in Europe with Rangers. That is the main thing I want to see. See if we can get Twente back from the days of Steve McLaren, where they were champions in Holland, and see if they can get them back up towards the top end of the Eredivisie. Ajax, perennial winners. Let's see how it does with them. I've got a feeling it might not do as well with Ajax. I don't know, just because I feel like Ajax really suit very much like, having lots of attackers going forwards, like, like wingers and number 10s and stuff, with the likes of, Tadic, Antony, etc., etc. So this is the team we picked for Ajax, actually, is with Blint as the DLP, Gravenberch, Tadic as your Metzalas, Antony and Haller. We've swapped them around. So Haller is the target forward on the right-hand side, with Antony as the advanced forward on the left. And this is purely just because of foot preference. So Haller is right-footed and Antony is left-footed, with Mazraoui, Tagliafico, and then we've got Martinez, Timber, and Alvarez as the defenders. There are some people who will probably watch this, who are in the Discord server, who will probably think, no, don't play them, play Wrench or play Neres. Players who probably have a much better understanding of the ins and outs of Ajax and how well the players do in real life, or how well they do in-game based on what they've used them as. It's the back three, which I've got some question marks over, where Alvarez might be better as a ball-playing defender, and maybe like Devon Wrench might be good as a wide centre-back. But this is the team I'm going to go with for Ajax. We've also got Napoli and Brescia, so Brescia in the second division in Italy. So it'd be interesting to see if the team that have given us, Papetti, Sandro Tonali, etc. It'd be interesting to see if we can get them back up to the top flight. And it will actually, if you go back even further, they also gave us Andrea Pirlo. So let's see if we can get them back up to the top. Napoli, you'll remember we've used before. They failed the last tactics test because the manager got sacked. So that means that the players didn't gel with the tactic. Hertha Berlin, perennial underachievers, both in Football Manager and in real life. See if they can finally achieve that potential that they've been threatening since they had that sugar daddy takeover. You'll remember if you basically play as Hertha Berlin over the last few editions of FM, you literally just get absolutely inundated with money just to buy whoever. And the issue that I always seem to find is they never seem to do very well. They always seem to get relegated. And it just seems a bit of a disaster. We've also got Leipzig, see if we can get them that first Bundesliga title. Monaco and Nice, don't worry, I'm not going to show you every single team and go into every single lineup because it'll take too long. What we'll do is at the end of the video, we'll look through the stats for each individual team, see who's been the big performers. Dinamo Zagreb, someone different, someone I've not done a test with at all, and I've not actually played a game with, a save with. Anderlecht haven't won the league, and may come as a surprise, since 2016-17. So we're going to see if we can get them back up to the top. They finished outside the top three for the last 3 seasons. So we're going to see if we can get them back up to the top, back where they probably feel like they should belong, and see if they can knock Club Brugge off the top. Although in real life, I think it's Santradense, I think it is, or Sintradense, I'm probably murdering how you pronounce that, top of the league. I think it's them. They are, I think it's San Gilloise, I think, atop, and basically whoever it is, it's a real outsider, and they are absolutely smashing it. We've gone with Swansea. They got relegated in 2018, so let's see if we can get them back up into the top flight. They've been to the playoffs a couple of times, but they've fallen short. We went with Spurs, Brentford and Southampton. Brentford and Southampton, teams I don't really see tested with massively. I've seen Let's Play series and stuff with them, but again, be interesting to see how they do on this. I feel like I've waffled on for long enough. I don't want to make the intro too long. But yeah, this is the team we're going with for the likes of Southampton. Could argue putting Che Adams up front, but I think that Broja and Armstrong are probably the 2 most exciting forwards in this team, personally, based on like previous FMs as well as in real life. The only debate I had was at centre-half, to be honest with you. I would have probably liked to play Kyle Walker-Peters there as like a wide centre-back, but he just is not comfortable playing that role at all. So it made no sense to sort of force him to play that. Spurs, obviously they also failed the last tactics test that we did. We had Kane and Dele Alli doing really, really well, thriving under it, and then we got sacked and replaced with Lopetegui, and they actually did worse. They finished lower than when he took over, and the goals kind of dried up for Kane and Ali, who really seem to love playing as a shadow striker and as an advanced forward. Dyer is playing on the left rather than the right because he is actually still technically strong on that left foot. And then we've got Son and Kane. These are probably the 2 easiest players I've had to pick for the roles in this save. Going Son and Kane, I think, just naturally just suit those roles quite nicely in this tactic. Kane, I think, could, arguably play as like a... Well, I mean, let's face it, Kane can play any role in this as a striker, really, to a really decent standard. But I think if you're going to pick one or the other, you're going to pick Kane as your target forward, and Son will just smash that advance forward. So as I've said a few times, I've waffled on long enough. I didn't want to drag this out too much on the intro. Like I said, we'll break down everything at the end, look at who's done what, and who's excelled, and what the lineups were that were picked for the most part of the season. And no transfers. We're just going to go straight through and sim it now, and I shall see you on the other side, everyone. And before we get there, feel free to drop your comments down below. Predictions. I'm not expecting you to predict all 18 teams, because that's how many teams we're using. Anyone who's done any testing, coursework, science, whatever, as you know, the bigger the sample size, the more accurate your results. So yeah, I'm not expecting you to pick all 18 teams, but who do you think are going to be the surprise packages? Who do you think are going to be the surprise individual performers? And pick 5 teams that you want and let me know where you think they're going to finish. Reminder, we've got Spurs, Southampton, Brentford, Swansea, Anderlecht, Zagreb, Nice, Monaco, Leipzig, Hertha, Napoli, Brescia, Ajax, FC22, Rangers, Real Madrid, Real Betis, and Malaga. Drop your thoughts down below, and I'll see you in a bit. Well, everyone, the results are in on this tactics test that we did. It's been a few days, I'll be honest with you, since we recorded the first bit. I've just been having to let it sim in and around when I've been in work and stuff like that. I've been able to like finish it off a few times, well, do a bit of it when I've been out. But yeah, results are in. Some mixed results, some good, some not so good. First off, let's start with the bad. Sacked by Spurs, sacked by Swansea, sacked by Monaco after the season finished, because we didn't attend a board meeting, basically. So the season already finished, and then they sacked us. Sacked by Leipzig, sacked by Napoli, sacked by Betis. So I think basically, that's two tactics tests I've done where we've incorporated Napoli and Spurs, and we've been sacked by both of them. So I'm starting to think that maybe as teams for tests go, maybe not the best. Spurs were actually doing quite well when we got sacked. I think they were like 5th or something like that, but obviously that was just not good enough for Daniel Levy. I think when I looked at it, there'd been like sort of 3 poor results out of 4. I think maybe like 3 losses and a draw, and obviously for Daniel Levy, he felt that wasn't good enough and decided to give us the boot. But yeah, I mean, we'll start from the top. So because I was kind of in and out with the sim, like having to sort of start and stop it, I was able to keep abreast of what was going on. Southampton early doors were 3rd after something like 8 or 9 games with this tactics test. And then they just dropped slowly as the season went on. You'll notice some good numbers. Adam Armstrong getting 19 goals, James Ward-Prowse getting 15 assists. Elsewhere, we had Ward-Prowse also getting 14 goals, Pero getting 6 assists, Tino Livramento getting 7 assists, Salisu as the wide centre-back on the left-hand side, getting 7 goals. And basically, yeah, what I did was, as I was dipping in and out, I noticed that there was, a lot of injuries happening. So I basically just did this, where I just took out a few players and just sort of left the team, the players in that I wanted to try and start every game. So we left them in for some of them. Yeah, let's see, how did Broja do? He wasn't doing great at the start. Maybe as his... Am I being blind? Broja, as his loan finished? Is that why he's not here? We had Che Adams getting 13 goals and 3 assists. Stuart Armstrong getting 10 assists, 3 goals. Kyle Walker-Peters getting 7 assists. Yeah, maybe Broja has gone back to Chelsea now. Let's see. How did he finish up? Yeah, he's back at Chelsea. So, 7 goals, 3 assists. When I checked in at one point, he wasn't doing that well. So that was Southampton. As you can see, we ended up having, with this team, we had Ward-Prowse playing as the Mezzala. That was the one position in midfield that we ended up sort of leaving set in stone. We didn't actually start with Armstrong up top, but then we just sort of basically gave the assistant the license to pick who we wanted to play at that front two. But Ward-Prowse getting 15 assists and 14 goals from that Mezzala role. Obviously, I think, in this formation, this tactic, the Mezzalas seem to be your main focal point, and that is a theme that was evident in a lot of other teams, which we'll look at in a minute. So we look at Brentford, they came 11th, which I think is quite respectable really for a newly promoted team. Ivan Toney, he was the target forward. He got 20 goals in all competitions, and Mads Roerslev as the complete wing back. I think he was the leading assist provider for the team. Ivan Toney, 20 goals, 10 assists. Roerslev, 1 goal, 14 assists. Adam Buemo, 13 goals. And who else were we playing? Who were we playing as the Mezzalas again? I think we had the likes of Norgard, and Onyeka was playing as the DLP, and I think Bidstrup at some point was playing in. They just sort of rotated in and out basically. Shandon Baptiste also looked like he got a few games. So yeah, Brentford, I felt that was quite good going for them to become 11th. At one point they were also 6th or 7th. So yeah, some good performances. Obviously, if you look at that, Southampton just got spanked by Liverpool 8-0. United winning the league, Brentford beating Aston Villa last day of the season. And yeah, Maz Roerslev came third in assists, only one behind Kevin De Bruyne, which I think is pretty good. Just out of interest, is Rafa still at Everton? Yeah, because this will be pre-update. So yeah, Rafa Benitez is still at Everton because yeah, we set this sim up I think on Wednesday, and the update came out on the Thursday, I believe it was. So yeah, so this has still got Rafa and not got Lampard. Finishing strong, beating Man City 1-0. Let's see, just out of interest, who scored? Gomez. Wow, fair enough. Rafa actually finally doing a decent job on Football Manager with Everton. Usually in every other save or sim I've done, he gets sacked by Christmas. We were sacked by Christmas, incidentally enough, with Swansea. When I checked on them, there was poor link-up play between pretty much a lot of the players. Yeah, just didn't seem to really be working at all for them. Yeah, so I think this is one thing that I'll touch on as we go through. If we look at Anderlecht, they ended up finishing, I think, 5th in the league, but they ended up in the European places playoff rather than the Champions League, like the Champions Group. Yeah, they came 7th. Club Brugge absolutely storming it, and between Ghent and Genk, Ostend getting the Champions League after coming 4th in the Champions Group, so that's not too bad. But yeah, Anderlecht, not brilliant, really brilliant return from them. But you know what? It is not terrible. Like I said, as we touched on at the beginning, they're a team who have been struggling quite a bit of late. We've got Hurt, is it Wesley Hurt, getting 16 goals as that wide centre-back. That is incredible. We've got Verscheren getting 9 goals, 6 assists. In terms of strikers, and we have Benita Raman getting 15 goals. And I think we also will have had Xerxes, 20 goals and 4 assists, and Christian Kouame getting 24 goals and 2 assists. With Sergi Gomez, he was probably the standout performer. So Sergi Gomez, we played him as the Mezzala on the left-hand side. Pretty much we started him there, and then when we jumped in, he was really struggling with fatigue. So we thought we'll take him out because we know that the assistant will pick him when he's fit and ready, and hopefully won't run him into the ground too much, which it looked like he didn't. And the club reaped the rewards for Sergio Gomez's performance. 18 goals, 20 assists in 55 games. So yeah, really, really solid output from him in that Mezzala role, and he's currently wanted by Aston Villa, Burnley, RB Leipzig, probably the biggest team there that he's wanted by. So yeah, he was at Barcelona. No, Dortmund. Yeah, Barcelona, and then went to Dortmund. Very good output for him. In terms of their competitions, they obviously had some European football. Didn't do brilliant. Knocked out by Spurs in the Conference League quarterfinal, and got to the semi-final of the Cup. Zagreb may come as no surprise to see. A little wildcard team that we threw in that I've never really done much with. Stormed the league, won the Cup. Didn't get through the UEFA Champions League, and got knocked out at the group stage of the Europa League. So fairly poor performance, on the continent, but domestically smashed it unsurprisingly with Orsic dominating the goal scoring, 30 goals for him, and in the league, and 37 in all comps. Bruno Petkovic as the target forward. So basically, we had Petkovic as the target forward, and Orsic as the advanced forward, and we just swapped the roles around to compensate for that, because Orsic was right-footed and Petkovic left-footed. So that was the team we went with for Zagreb, and yeah, as we saw, Orsic absolutely smashing it, and we had Misic as the right side of Mezzala, getting 24 assists, and some solid outputs as well from the wing-backs, to be fair. Pretty good going. If we look at the league table, I'm pretty sure Orsic was the top scorer. And Misic was the top assist provider. So that it suited that team very well, as you would expect domestically. I just would think that because it's a very attacking formation, there's a lot of attack roles. You've got wide centre backs, you've got complete wing backs, and you've got attacking Mezzalas and a deep line playmaker. I just imagine for teams like this, where maybe the quality is a little bit sparse, when you're going up against the big dogs, that's probably where it gets found out. Now, Nice came 4th, and what I was really pleased to see was they won the cup. They won the French Cup. Who did they beat in the final? Probably, it'd be nice if it was PSG. Oh no, they beat Pau FC. How did Pau get through? That's really impressive. Dolberg was just on fire. Yeah, Nice were a team we kept an eye on as well. So initially we had Delort and Guri up top. Basically we noticed that when we jumped in at one point, Guri was injured and he wasn't actually doing that well. So we basically, I think we just blanked out the front two. Or if not, we kept Delort in because he was doing really well as that target forward. Stengs was also getting quite tired, so he was playing at this left Mazzala role, so we thought we'll leave it up to the assistant to play him when he's fit. Stengs was on fire, and looks like Dolberg benefited instead over Gori by playing in that advanced forward role. So let me go to more of a breakdown on the squad screen. So we had Andy Delort getting 28 goals and 8 assists. Boudaoui getting 11 assists and 9 goals. Schneiderlin doing all right as the deep line playmaker. Daniluk as the wide centre back getting 7 goals, 3 assists. That's really good going. It might be Daniliuc. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not Austrian. But yeah, as you can see, Calvin Stengs is that left side of Metzala. 10 goals and 25 assists. What a return from him. Dolberg getting 29 goals and 1 assist. Look at that, 29 goals and 1 assist in 29 starts, 8 substitute appearances. Gori, to be fair, still did very well. 12 goals, 6 assists. So, I think this tactic really has the potential to be very, very, very effective. Really, really good. I think, it might be something that, when you're actually playing out the season rather than simming it, you'll be able to adjust to any potential issues you're noticing. Like I said, I think with, sort of characteristically weaker teams, it might struggle a little bit just because it is so attacking, and unless you've got that quality up top to really make it count week in, week out against the bigger teams, to be clinical. I think that might be where it struggles a little bit, especially, as we saw with Zagreb in Europe, they didn't do very well. But that's the thing, that you can adjust to this formation. It's so flexible. Yeah, Stengs leading the assists and Delort coming second in the goal scoring charts behind Ben Yedder. Incidentally, Ben Yedder, obviously we were basically at Monaco pretty much until the end of the season. As you will see, they came, I think they came third. What am I looking at? Oh yeah, they came third, I believe. Yeah, and Ben Yedder, top scorer. Badu also, he came second on the assist. We will look at Monaco because even though we got sacked, it was after the season finished. So we will see the crack with them. So yeah, we had, look at that, Ben Yedder getting 39 goals. We had Golovin with 10 assists. 14 assists for Ruben Aguiar. Enrique getting 12 assists. 9 goals for Badiashile. And then in terms of who else we played in that, Fabregas got a few games. He did all right in the few games he played. And we had, see, it won't let me see the tactics because we were playing, where's his name? Who is it? Chumani? No. Oh yeah, Chumani. Sorry, he's there. Yeah, he didn't do great. Sofiane Diop, we gave him the option to play as Metzala. Basically, we took these two out and just let the assistant manager pick them as long as Golovin started. But yeah, we're going to take credit for this season because even though we got sacked, it was after the season had done, so we did all our hard work. Basically, yeah, we got sacked on the 22nd of May after that 6-1 defeat by the looks of things. Let's see. Yeah, they got battered 6-1 by Lens, who came 9th. So, yeah, that's probably why, because I think they probably finished a little bit weak. But, yeah, I think, if you look at the roles overall, if you find you're getting absolutely smashed, you maybe just play more like a defender than a wide centre-back or more of a wing-back over a complete wing-back, and you'd probably maybe play like a box-to-box or a ball-winning midfielder just to provide a bit more defensive cover. Then if we go to Hertha, because yeah, we got sacked by Leipzig. Hertha were probably the biggest surprise. The perennial strugglers of Football Manager and real life came 4th. Head of Leipzig, who we did get sacked by, I think sort of like March, April time. They were kind of languishing. Leipzig sort of 7th, 8th. But Hertha did incredibly well, getting 4th. That's just not what you see at all in Football Manager. Like I said, I think they got sacked in my first season on the Dortmund series. So if we look at their output, I don't think anyone particularly excelled. They just didn't concede many goals, which was quite surprising. Swallow, he kept the most clean sheets. As you can see, he only conceded 30 goals in 38 games, and he was the leading clean sheet. He got the Golden Glove for the division. We had Piatek and Jovic doing quite sort of fairly solid numbers up the top. Again, nothing special. A lot of goals provided by the wing-backs. And midfield, not really doing a huge amount. But you know what? They didn't really need to, because the defence was so stingy. So even though we weren't getting massive goal returns, it didn't matter because the defence was just so solid. And yeah, as you'll see, Swallow keeping the most clean sheets, basically keeping a clean sheet in 50% of the league games. That's probably why they did so well, because they were so good at the back. And yeah, they'll be playing Champions League football, I believe, next season, which, like I said, you just never see it happen. So yeah, then we did get sacked by Napoli, but Brescia did very, very well. Brescia got promoted, and they were pretty much leading the way all the way from kickoff at the start of the season. They made top spot their own early doors and just never really looked back. If we look at the breakdown let's look at the squad, because we had Rodrigo Palacio absolutely smashing it out there up top. He got 29 goals, 8 assists, and Moreo 28 goals and 8 assists. Rodrigo Palacio, I think he's 40 now in the game. Yeah, 40, just doing absolute bits for Brescia. We had Jagiello getting 10 assists, 14 assists for the left back, and 9 assists for the right back. And decent numbers from our midfielders. Alfredo Donnarumma, he is our player, but he was on loan at Ternana, and he was the top goal scorer for the league. We look at the Serie B KT table. We've got 50 goal difference, obviously, for a start. And then, we've got Palacio and Moreo coming in behind Donnarumma. Pashac and Matteo, second and third in the assists. Jesse Jorinen coming second in the clean sheets. So very, very solid for Brescia. They'll be playing Serie A football next season. If we let's just break it down. Let's just see what our goal scoring numbers were like. 85 goals for, wow, incredible. Top scorers in the league. Fantastic. Obviously, I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at the team overview here, just to see what the numbers were like. Most goals, most points per game, most shots. I'm picking Brescia just because obviously they seem to do very, very well out of it. And I've never really don't see Brescia get promoted that often, I find, in Football Manager, which is strange because they're a team which has produced so much talent and they've got a lot of talent available to them. I just rarely see them get promoted. And if they do, it's usually sort of 2-3 seasons in, and then they tend to just go straight back down again, which is a real shame. So, straight back up again. Let's see if we've got any more stats available to us. Most headers won. Third in possession. Most points a game you'd expect because they absolutely smashed it. Attacking, 85 goals, most goals per game, most expected goals for. Crosses completed the highest, probably all coming from those complete wing backs and those Metsalas. Chances created, most shots for, most shots on target. It's with Brescia, it just seems to work an absolute charm. Worked so well. We move on to Ajax, who were a slow starter with this formation, this tactic. They were languishing sort of 4th, 5th for a large portion of time, and then they just seem to roar ahead at the end. If we go into schedule, not scouting, for a long time, they were sort of languishing quite far down, and then they just seem to suddenly just pick up form. I mean, look at this from March, end of February, or middle of February actually. Okay, so from February, they didn't lose in the league. They won every game, and that is why they did so well. In terms of cup competitions, knocked out at the group stage by Dortmund and Inter. Inter eventually won the Champions League, and then they got knocked out by Celtic in the first round of the cup, the Europa League. Knocked out in the third round of the Toto KMV. That is their FA Cup, as I understand it. that Ajax, like I said, it slow start, but just seemed to roar through at the end. Literally, like January finished, and they just never looked back. If we look at the output, we had Haller and Anthony as the two strikers. Haller as the target forward, Anthony as the advanced forward. Brilliant numbers between the two of them, absolutely brilliant. Tadic and Gravenberch as the Metzalas, doing incredibly well. Look at that, like double figures on goals and assists for them. And, Martinez getting 9 goals. He was the one centre-back that we left in and left the assistant manager kind of pick out whoever else they wanted to play. Mazraoui and Tagliafico also, giving solid numbers. In terms of who else played, I think in defence, we're looking at likes of Timber, Wrench, and Scher's got a few games. But, Edson Alvarez also played most of the games. But yeah, Anthony and Haller absolutely stormed it. If I look back at the overall, I think, those 3 strikers all finished on 25 goals. We also had Twente in this division. And for a long time, they were actually leading the way. They were first at one point, and then they were second behind PSV. They ended up finishing 5th, but they did actually qualify for European football. So I think they're playing Conference League next season. They ended up finishing quite a way off, as you can see, 57 points to 11 points off 4th. But what we did notice, if you did see it then, is that the highest assist provider in the division was a 20 player, Ramiz Zarouki, only by 1, but still, he was playing as a Mezzala, I believe. Really good numbers from him. Yeah, he was playing as that right Mezzala. 14 assists, 9 goals. Solid numbers across the rest of the midfield. Nothing outstanding, but solid and reliable. We had Dan Roets and Ricky van Wolfswinkel getting over 20 goals each between them. Again, worked really well with them. Twente are a team who I believe have kind of not really finished anywhere particularly high. Like, I don't believe they've got in European football anytime recently, so this tactic has helped get them back there. If we look at history, let's have a look at so they won the league in 2010, and in fact they actually got relegated in 2017-18. So since they won the league in 2010, the highest finish was 3rd in 2013-14, and we got them to 5th with this tactic. So I would call that a success with Twente, to be honest with you, considering, the level of opposition they're coming up against. I think we could be quite happy with that, and there's definitely a really good foundation to build on from there. Rangers were another team which were a little bit slow to start, but once they started, they just didn't look back. It was just a shame that it just took them so long to get used to the tactic. Because for a while, Celtic were way out in front. Over 10 points clear. I think they were like 15 points clear at one point, actually. And as you can see, Rangers roared back just to keep the gap down to 9. Helped in no part by this pretty solid run in the league, where they only lost once between 9th of Feb and the end of the season. One thing I hadn't noticed, which I did just see, is in the Europa League, looked like there was a 9-6 away to Lazio. Wow. 9-6. Immobile absolutely going to town. So that's 6 goals from Immobile. Wow. And I think in competitions-wise, they got knocked out in the Champions League and knocked out in the group stage, but they won the Scottish Cup. Ryan Kent was on fire as the advanced forward, with Morelos as the number 10. He got something like 34 goals in all comps, 18 goals from Morelos. Yanis Hagi as the Metzala, unbelievable. Tavernier doing really well as that complete wing back. Some insane numbers. We had Ryan Kent as the top scorer, just Tavernier came 3rd in the assists. So obviously I would call it a success with Rangers to an extent, because we did get that trophy, but also the numbers that some of the players are putting up, I think it was just incredible. And I think if you were to, like I said, actually devote more attention to it and tweak it as and when needed, you'd do very, very well. Real Madrid were very, very interesting. Early days up until almost like middle of October. I think they're in the bottom half of the table. Barcelona at one point were 20th. They'd won one game in about 7 or 8, so they were languishing at the bottom of the table. Real Madrid took a while for things to get moving. We tweaked around with the lineup a little bit with them. So initially we'd planned our starting 11, as you saw at the start of the video. And then what we did was we just let the assistant pick our left wing back, whether it be Marcelo or Fernan Mendy, and then let him pick the midfield. So we initially had like the likes of Asensio, Kroos and Modric, but obviously we were neglecting the likes of Casemiro and Valverde. And we also let him pick who we wanted to play as a target forward, be it Benzema or Jovic. Now, as I understood it, he pretty much picked Benzema all the time anyway, because he ended up the top scorer for the team on something like 28 goals, I believe it was. There he is, yeah. Kareem the Dream, 28 goals, 7 assists. Excuse me. Vinicius Jr., 27 goals, all comps. David Alaba as that left back, that wide centre-back, 12 goals. I think he was taking like free kicks and stuff though. We had Toni Kroos getting 21 assists, which was really, really solid return from him. He was the leading assist provider for the league. Eden Hazard getting 11 goals, and he wasn't even starting that much. Casemiro did really well. He obviously was like someone who I think just came in after his injury at the start of the season. Who else have we got? Anyone else? Valverde did quite well. Ferland Mendy getting 12 assists. But yeah, so slow start for Real Madrid, but then I think their form basically from like November, December was probably one of the best in the league. As you can see, second and third top scorers. Kroos getting the most assists in the league. But yeah, I was kind of keeping an eye on this one because this was the one that Mixon wanted me to pick, Real Madrid with the team he wanted. Let me try. I hate that. I hate it when it does that. I want to try and spread that out. Yeah. So I was kind of in and out. I think it was at this point that I gave the assistant a bit more flexibility over the team because players were getting tired and the performance was really suffering as a result. As you'll see, lost to Espanyol, lost to Betis, lost to Levante. At one point there was a 4-0 defeat away to Wolfsburg as well in the Champions League. But it was around this point that things seemed to start to gel. You got 16 goals in 4 games, 4-0, 4-1, 4-0, 4-1, including a 4-0 win against Atletico. And then 5-0 against Sevilla. And we had a draw against Barcelona. And then we lost in the Supercopa final. Valencia 5-1. It just started to come good. 7-5 against Osasuna. Again, so that's the thing. I think this is where, games like this show the defensive fragility of this tactic. But the attacking output is pretty solid. Knocked out by Inter in the Champions League quarter-final, I believe it was. But yeah, if you look from here, fairly solid in the league. By this point, Valencia already had the title. So it's a shame that we lost 3-0 to Vallecano and Sevilla. But generally speaking, good numbers. 4 goals scored against Atletico Madrid in 2 games in the league. So, it's definitely got the potential to be a really, really solid tactic. Just needs a bit more intervention than we can provide in this sim. And then we move on to the last team, which was Malaga. Now, for a long time, Malaga were doing very, very well. At one point, I thought these could even get automatic promotion here. They were in and around the top 5 for most of the start of the season, and I think it just fell apart basically. Real shame, because I thought brilliant, we could get Malaga back up into La Liga, and this is the team we went with. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened at all. It just seemed to completely fall off a cliff with them. I think they just basically just kept getting found out. Look at all these defeats. Because, we go back to, even if we go back here, September, it started to dip a little bit in October. And then they just kind of free-falled. Didn't get a win at all in November, sorry. What's that? 1 win in... Okay, actually, if we look at 2 wins in 1, 2, 5, 9... 2 wins in 13 games, not good enough. So that was a real shame because I thought it could have ended really, really nicely for Malaga, but no dice. Brandon Thomas did well. He got 20 goals. Yozabed, he got 13 assists, and Wande got the highest rating. I think Wande was he was one of the wing backs, I believe. Let's see. Oh no, he was the wide centre back. If we look at the actual numbers that some of the other players got, so if we go up, Wande, yeah, I mean, he got 6 goals and 2 assists, but he seemed to do quite well otherwise. Brandon Thomas did very well up front. He's wanted by Almeria, and Cadiz's contract must be expiring, actually, I assume, at the end of this season. Is he, well, let's see, how old is he? He's 27. Yeah, he did well, considering what our class is sort of relatively average attributes. Who else have we got? Yeah, Yozabed getting the 2 goals and the 13 assists. But yeah, real shame the way it sort of fell apart with Malaga. And I think that is it, yeah, because obviously we got sacked by the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we stayed in the job in 12 teams. I think we would have kept the Monaco job had we not been simming through the board meeting. So we would have seen we would have been able to speak to them, tell them not to worry about the 6-1 to Lens. We were back in the Champions League. But, you know, that's the risk you have when you sim. You know, you can't attend these meetings, and if you don't go, the board will just sack you. But yeah, like I said, I really feel like this tactic could be very useful to a lot of people. Let me know if you want access to it down in the comments below. And I need to speak to Mixon, check if he's happy for me to share it, and if so, I will put the link in the description. So keep your eyes peeled for that one if you want it. And yeah, overall, I think this is something that you could definitely really get a lot out of your team with, especially in terms of attacking numbers. If you have enjoyed the video, do leave a like down below, and I just want to say thanks to Mixon for giving me this tactic to test. If you've got a tactic you want me to test, you know what to do. Go to the Twitter link down below, or go to the Discord. Come and find me, send me a message, and I will do your tactic test for you. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and I shall see you next time.